Welcome back to FRCMedia. I'm Keith Tebow. Thank you for joining us today. This weekend, shoppers across the Commonwealth will be able to take advantage of another sales tax-free holiday weekend. It's going to be taking place this Saturday and Sunday, August 29th and 30th. And when we talk local business, local retail, who do we bring in? We bring in the co-CEOs of the Bristol County. See, that's a faux pas on my part. The One SouthCoast Chamber. Rick Kidder and Michael O'Sullivan. Gentlemen, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, Keith. How are you doing?
You know, it only took me, how many months have we been doing these interviews to mess up the name, right? Well, it happens.
Right. Even we mess it up once in a while.
Right,
That's
and you're
right.
there every day.
Well, coming from Bristol Community College, it's got to be tough for you not to slip up.
It does. It is. It's very easy. But anyway, let's move forward on what's coming up this weekend. Mike, let me start with you. Tax-free weekend has been a staple in Massachusetts for quite some time. With COVID-19 and restrictions that are in place, from what you're hearing, are local retailers, local businesses still looking forward to this weekend? And are they making any plans that may be a little different than we would normally see?
It's definitely different than they would normally see, Keith, but everybody's excited about it. It's a great opportunity to go spend money on bigger things, go buy appliances and things like that for your house if you need that. This is one example, but it's definitely, there's still a lot of excitement. There's on both the consumer's part and on the business's part. So we're excited because it's just another good example of how our legislature understands they got to help business a little bit.
Rick, when it comes to these weekends, a lot has been written about the impact on local business for this weekend. They tend to see probably one of their highest weekends of the year, and that even in some ways can be comparable to the Christmas season. So is that anticipation still, from what you're hearing from your colleagues in the business community, not necessarily local, but around the Commonwealth, that it'll still be, kind of a boon weekend potentially for business?
Oh, absolutely, Keith. People love tax-free weekend, and one of the reasons they love it, it's kind of a funny thing. You could have a retail store that will offer a 10% off sale, and that 10% off sale doesn't bring in as many people as saving 6.5% on sales tax. I think there's that little bit of everybody that says, hey, let's make sure that if we're going to get a discount, the small business guy gets it, not the state. And so, yes, I think it's going to be as big as it always has been, because I don't think it brought in a lot of people from out of state. It was really about local people shopping locally and supporting their local businesses.
Well, but I guess, the question needs to be asked that, will this be an opportunity from, getting some of that money from Rhode Island, let's say, coming into Massachusetts and coming into Fall River, maybe specifically, Mike, in terms of getting some of that revenue? I know someone who happens to reside in the Ocean State. I may make the trip over the border to buy some things this coming weekend.
I would agree with you. In fact, I know people who have said, "Oh, it's tax-free weekend in Massachusetts. I got to get over there and shop for certain things." I mentioned appliances, but for particularly bigger ticket items, it's definitely going to pull people in from Rhode Island, and it may have a little bit more of an effect in Fall River and Somerset, Swansea, Seekonk than it does in the New Bedford end of the world, New Bedford and Dartmouth. But people shop there as well from Rhode Island, so it's going to help. It's definitely going to help.
Absolutely, and actually, it's one of the wonderful things about being close to the border of another state is that we get to take advantage of what we've always called OPM, which is other people's money. And we love to get other people's money from Rhode Island and other states as well. So this is going to be a good time for folks to be able to go out and get some bargains and do it tax-free.
And people from Rhode Island need to remember that if they stay for less than 24 hours, there's no issues with CDC or the state.
Right.
That's right. You don't want any riffraff like me coming into the state and
no, I mean, you're actually exempt, I think, anyway.
Oh, good. Oh, that's great.
No.
That's great. I appreciate that. So, I want to talk a little bit about marketing. A lot of times you'll see companies and retailers across the Commonwealth, sort of add a little bit to their marketing budgets to get their name out there for this tax-free weekend. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen much of that. I don't know if it's just where I am physically, but I guess our business is still marketing themselves and marketing the fact that this is a unique weekend, or are we at the point where because it's happened and people are anticipating it, that the marketing doesn't need to be at the level it once was? Rick?
I think both of those things are true. Marketing really doesn't need to be where it is. When the word gets out through the news outlets that it's tax-free weekend, you do see people go out and start to go shopping. I think one of the things that's happened within the COVID era is that one of the first things that's gone in a lot of people's budgets are marketing budgets. It's tough for people to spend money on marketing, to do that dotted line to their profitability. And so you don't see as much marketing. We get that. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be as successful as it has been in the past. But we know that people's marketing budgets are a little tighter this year than they've ever been.
So, as we head into the weekend, here's the opportunity for one or both of you to sort of pitch the option of making sure that if you're going to go shop this weekend, shop locally, right? We say that all the time, the One SouthCoast Chamber and others saying, there's a lot of great retailers in our region, and people should invest within their region. I guess, what other arguments can you make to have people shop either in the New Bedford area or in the Fall River area coming up this weekend?
I think it's just very simply stated. Just shop local. Spend your money local. It's been a very tough year for a lot of small businesses. This is a great time to help the small businesses out. You can get great prices, you can get great deals, and you save on the sales tax. This is the time to think local, shop local. I don't know that there's a much more sophisticated way to say that.
And Keith,
direct is good.
Keith, to be honest with you, one of the things that I'm not sure people realize to the extent that they should is that when you support a local business, about 80 cents on the dollar stays here within the local economy. There are always those purchases that have to be made outside by that retailer. But when you are going to a larger chain store or a national chain in particular, only about 40% stays here. We want to support jobs here. We want to support prosperity here. We want our local dollars to stay here as much as possible. And 2 times those local dollars, amount of those dollars, stays with us when in fact people shop locally.
Right. That's important to note that, people who have a vested interest locally because they live here, not only work here, but a lot of times live here, it's that extra incentive to support those businesses. Rick Kidder and Michael Sullivan, thank you for joining me as always, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.
Thanks, Keith.
As always.
Take care.
All right. I want to thank you for joining us today here at FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.